Finally, playoff hockey has come back to Montreal. And just as sure as you knew the Montreal Canadiens fans were going to welcome that team with open arms to the Bell Center, just as sure, 21,000 strong, chanting the team's name, just as sure as that hermaphrodite Tom Wilson, just as sure as Tom Wilson thought he was going to intimidate the Montreal Canadiens. Nah. My name's Tom Wilson, and I had a reputation for being the league's biggest tough guy. Except there's still one problem. Everyone still thinks I absolutely suck. Did you really think, Tom Wilson, that you were going to intimidate these Montreal Canadiens? Did you really think that after October 31st, 2024, when Josh Anderson laid the smackdown on your candy you-know-what, that he was going to back down? No. So for the rest of this series, Tom Wilson, the Montreal Canadiens, Josh Anderson, Arbor Jacki, and the rest, they quite simply put, say, just bring it. If you smell what the Deeks is cooking. Well, now that I got that out of my system, I feel a lot better. How about you? How about that game last night? The Montreal Canadiens are back in the Stanley Cup playoffs where they absolutely belong. Habs fans, non-Habs fans, hockey fans everywhere watching that game saw why it's so special and important and necessary for the Canadiens to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs. An unmatched atmosphere like no other. I had tickets. I had tickets to that game last night, folks. Yep. To the fans in section 331, seats 7 and 8, eat your hearts out. Okay, but seriously though, I hope you had an amazing time. I know you did. Everybody did. Because we saw, once again, an atmosphere unmatched, unlike any other you see in hockey. The Montreal Canadiens put on a show for their fans, and the juice that Marty St. Louis said that the fans gave them, you could see it on full display. There's so much to talk about in this game. Let's just fire through it all, man. Arbor Jacki back in the Canadiens lineup, making an impact. He played 10:05 in this game. He had 4 registered hits. Before the puck even dropped, what's he do? He walks up to center ice, skates up, stares down the Washington Capitals, gets into a little chirping match with Tom Wilson, lets him know, yeah, we're coming, buddy. We ain't scared. Not a chance. No matter what you saw from the Canadiens in game 1 and 2, you know that they looked bigger in this game. Habs fans' complaints everywhere. The comment section was filled on both of my videos that, the Canadiens were too small. They couldn't match the physical play of the Washington Capitals, and that was gone. Just like that, as The Rock would say too. Just like that, it was gone, and the Canadiens were able to not only match, but surpass the physicality of the Washington Capitals in Game 3. I'm not just making these stats up. You can look at them for yourself. The Montreal Canadiens had 45 registered hits to the Capitals' 26. Josh, the power horse Anderson, is back and here to stay, and because of his game misconduct with Tom Wilson, Josh only played 11:46, but still had 6 registered hits himself. You talk about being a factor. You talk about leading this team. Arbor Jacki said that it was Josh Anderson's lead that the Canadiens were following. It wasn't the other way around. Although Jacki did still play a decent game despite his mistake on the 1 goal against. Yeah, we know, we saw it. But the main thing is the end result has to be what everyone wants, and that's a win. That's what they got. Patrick Laine was out of this lineup. Oliver Kapanen came in, held his own pretty decently for a kid. I mean, he played the least amount of minutes in this game, but he did what he could, right? He didn't look out of place. These guys were fired up. The Canadiens fans revved their engine, man, with that energy they gave them. It was just absolutely special, but let's talk about this game. Connor McMichael opens the scoring 3 minutes and 20 seconds into this game, trying. You thought you could. You thought you could take the air out of the building for long. Well, you did for a little bit maybe, but 19:07 into the first period, Alexander Carrier puts a puck on net, and bang, it goes in. His first career playoff goal as a Montreal Canadien, his second career playoff goal, and the Canadiens are back in business heading into the intermission. Right after that goal, Nick Suzuki gets called for a high stick, which wasn't even his stick to hit Logan Thompson, but it didn't really matter that much anyway because the Canadiens kill it off and they go into the second period. And then Nick Suzuki and totally redeem yourself. He scores a power play goal for his second of the series. Jacob Chychrun answers on a play where that was the one I was talking about. Arbajaka was a bit liable for that one. Jacob Chychrun rips it from the point, has way too much time with it. He unloads a bullet past Sam Montembeault. And then it's 2-2. But the Canadiens' buzzer beater antics, they aren't done yet. Calder winner Lane Hutson comes down and he beats Alex Ovechkin. He goes in and makes a beautiful pass to Lane Hutson. And at 19:07, boom, the Canadiens are back in the lead 3-2. What a play, what a read from Lane Hutson. His third assist of the playoffs in 3 games. 3 assists, 3 games. This kid's a player, man. You talk about the Washington Capitals wanting to be physical on him. They still are. They're still going to be. But guess what? You can't hit what you can't catch, and you better stop that kid or he's going to keep making you pay. Can you tell I'm fired up right now? This is why we had to wait till the next day to get this video out, because I'm over the top. I don't care. I don't even care at this point, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't care. Having a great time. All right, Alex Ovechkin does tie the game not that long afterward with his third goal in 3 games. He's been a factor in this series, to say the least. The greatest goal scorer of all time. Yeah, we know that. But other than that, was, had a couple other chances in this game, but wasn't crazy dangerous. And you just got to contain Ovi. You got to contain this whole Capitals team, because as a team collectively, they still can make you pay. You got to be careful. A crazy sequence of events, and Sam Montembeault and Logan Thompson both go down in this game. It looks like it's going to be Dobesh versus former Canadiens goaltender Charlie Lindgren for Game 4. The Canadiens even had to dress their e-bug. They had to dress their emergency backup goalie just in case for the remainder of Game 3. Shout out to Patrick. I need some help with this one. Chevrefil from Chateauguay, Quebec. Shout out to him for coming in. That was fun, man. That was a surreal moment for him, I'm sure. Thankfully, we didn't need to use him, but it looks like Caden Primo is going to be coming up to back up Jakub Dobesh for Game 4. A lot of chatter about whether Jacob Fowler would be able to do that. His entry-level contract with the Canadiens actually doesn't start until July 1st, so he can't come in as Dobesh backup. So continuing on in this game, and we got Christian Dvorak, the newborn Christian Dvorak, who, thanks to my nephew for single-handedly changing his life. I can't overstate that ever since we met Dvorak and my nephew said, I want an autograph from you, Christian Dvorak said, thank you for that opportunity to sign your Habs jersey. I'm not making this up. A bunch of you guys know this already, but my gosh, Dvorak is a different player. He's getting physical too. You saw him after the whistles there. Like, he's sticking up for himself. All of a sudden, these guys are all playing bigger with Josh Anderson and Arbajaka in the lineup. But not only that, this line is producing on top of everything else. Brendan Gallagher, Christian Dvorak, and Josh Anderson have become a force to be reckoned with in these playoffs. And if they can just keep this up, I mean, at this point, I'm just so proud of them. I'm so proud of this line. These guys have been fantastic to watch. Then we get to the Slavinator, the Slavzilla, Slafkovsky himself. Juraj Slafkovsky gets his first career playoff goal on a play where he dishes it off to Cole Caufield. Caufield sends it right back and says, no, you're taking this one. And he buries it for his first career playoff goal. Slav gets the Bell Center crowd going as if they needed help getting going. And then not long after that, Brendan Gallagher with a sweet dish to Alex Newhook, who I have been impressed by. I think Alex Newhook is built for the playoffs too. It's like they get to the playoffs and these guys just become different players. And that's what the playoffs do. The game changes, as you've seen. The game gets called differently, as you've seen. And these players are showing up in a way that is making a difference where and when it matters most. That was a power play goal, no less, but it didn't get much easier for Alex Newhook. He snipes from the slot, and he helps seal the victory for these Montreal Canadiens in Game 3, 6-3, on a night where Habs fans, I'm going to remember this one for a long time. I really am. I know I could have been in the stands for this one, but seeing the beginning stages of this rebuild coming together in a full third year of the rebuild, it's been confirmed by Stu Cowan and others. This is the third full year of the rebuild. I realize if you factor in when Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton came in, technically it's like 3.5 or 3 3/4 years, whatever. The point being, though, if this is what we have to look forward to, I will get many more chances to see playoff games at the Bell Center. This one particularly, though, was special because it was 8 years in the making. It hasn't been since 2017 that we've seen a full building in Montreal. We know the 2021 Stanley Cup playoff run. We got robbed that experience, but they made up for it in Game 3, let me tell you. What a night. It doesn't get much more special than that. There's so much you can talk about from this game, from the atmosphere to the way the Canadiens played, the way they responded in front of their fans. I mean, if you look at the shots on goal, it was 40-21. The hits were 45-26. The Canadiens went 2 for 5 on the power play. It was effective. That Nick Suzuki read, I mean, that backhand was just sick on that power play goal from Nick Suzuki. He's helping lead the way for his group as well. The youngest captain in Canadiens history. Enough can't be said about Nick Suzuki. Cole Caufield, you knew after him taking that cross-check to the face in Game 2, you knew that Cole Caufield was going to come in and score. You just had that sense. You had that feeling. He did it on a great read from Lane Hudson, no less. Cole Caufield, 11 registered shots on goal. And by the way, he was in elite company with that stat. Canadiens with 11-plus shots in a playoff game. Cole Caufield in 2025, Guy Lafleur in 1979, and Jacques Lemaire in 1973-1972. Might not seem like much, but that first line of the Canadiens, if you didn't add it all up, by the way, each one of Nick Suzuki, Cole Caufield, and Juraj Slafkovsky scored in this game. This game lived up to the hype, to the anticipation that there was coming in. The first home game in 8 years, playoff game with a full building for these Canadiens. You just couldn't have asked for much more. And then, did I even talk about the bench brawl? Did I even really get into it? I think I kind of did at the beginning of the video, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Jakub Dobeš was trying to get to the bench, and the Capitals just wouldn't let him because, as you know, in Montreal at the Bell Center, the visitors' locker room is on the other side of the rink because in Montreal, they get the whole side of the building with their dressing room and everything else they got going on over there. But that's what started it all. It was the Capitals wouldn't let Dobeš get to the bench. Arber Xhekaj gets into it with Tom Wilson. Josh Anderson takes exception and says, no, we're going to go. And they end up on the bench. It was just pandemonium, absolute pandemonium last night, man. I will throw this in because it did bug me about Mike Matheson. I know you guys point out his glaring errors a lot, but there was that one play, I think it was in the second period, where Mike Matheson hung on to the puck for too long. Ovechkin was nearby. That whole top line was nearby. And I'm like, what are you doing, Mike? Get rid of the puck. So for all that, like, I get it. Mike's got to be more careful. I just want to throw that in there. Some of you guys are suggesting taking David Savard out for Game 4, maybe inserting Logan Mailloux or Jaden Struble back into the lineup. I wouldn't hate that. I think Struble would be a better fit. That's way too much, I think, to ask of Logan Mailloux right now when the games are just going to be even more intense and more difficult to win, frankly, the longer the series goes on. That's a lot to ask for Logan Mailloux, but I wouldn't hate it if Jaden Struble came in with Arber Xhekaj. But you see David Savard and the way he sticks up for his teammates. You see the leadership that Savard brings. He's not playing bad. He's not that fast, but if he plays positionally sound, if he blocks shots, he's a hard leader and presence to take out of this lineup. And speaking of presence, Josh Anderson himself said how much of a difference Arber Xhekaj's presence made in the lineup. He's a big boy, he said. This is Josh Anderson, who's 6'3", 235, and he's saying that Arber Xhekaj, who's about 6'4", and around the same weight or more. I'm not going to look up his weight right now, but you get the point. Josh Anderson and the Canadiens loved Arber Xhekaj being in this lineup tonight. It made a difference, and now you know he ain't coming out. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really revved up for this one. You deserve it. I just was what a night. What a night. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think I've said enough, but this was a blast. So thank you guys for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Appreciate all the support. Go Habs, go. We'll see you after Game 4 in Le Centre Bell, Montreal. No place like it. No place in the world to watch a hockey game than that building. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go one of these days. Bless you guys. Love y'all. Go Habs. Go.